Hi, everyone. My name is Daniel, and I am the co-founder and CEO of Kegstand, where we are reinventing the traditional keg to help lower distribution costs for brewers. The Kegstand team stumbled upon this problem after going to one of our favorite local breweries and hearing them incessantly complain about their kegs. More specifically, it was the weight of the kegs driving distribution costs through the roof. After hearing this, we set out and talked to 112 experts about kegs. We found that near unanimously, the top problem was once again the weight of the kegs driving up distribution costs. Not only this, but we learned two very important things here. Their top priority with kegs is making sure that they are safe. And of course, their next priority is ensuring that they do not affect the beer quality whatsoever. This here is a keg that most of you have probably seen. It's a stainless steel keg. It does a great job at meeting the brewer's priorities, but unfortunately, it is the culprit of this problem because, of course, steel is quite heavy. Your other option as a brewer is a PET keg. These are plastic, one-time use kegs that sort of mitigate the problem of weight because, of course, plastic is lighter than steel, but it fails to meet either of the brewer's top two priorities. We can see here that it ultimately comes down to the materials that the keg is made out of. Steel causes a problem, while plastic completely ignores their top priorities. We need a solution that solves the problem while pertaining to the brewer's priorities. This is how the Kegstand team set out to research other industries to see if we could find a solution. We stumbled upon the aerospace industry. They use a technology called COPV, which is a composite overwrap pressure vessel. These are commonly used as a fuel tanks and things like this rocket here. This is how we built the world's first COPV keg that is 40% lighter, just as safe, and maintains beer quality equally as well as any steel keg. These are being sold for $105 for a half barrel and $95 for a 6-barrel, placing us as a premium product on this market. On average, a brewer can save $2.50 every single time they ship one of our kegs over our competitors. This really adds up. Just a small craft brewery, such as Upslope here in Boulder, can save an extra 32 grand every single year. Like I said, we're proud to be the premium product on this market, and we can command this higher price point because we save brewers money over time. We're starting with small to medium Colorado craft breweries, such as our customer, Light Cove Brewing, down in Denver, and scaling into the $3.3 million small Colorado craft keg market. If we're to look at the beer keg market as a whole, it was worth about $10 billion as of 2020. But here's what I'm really talking about. This is not just a play on breweries. This is a play on beverages. If you have ever had nitro brew coffee from a company such as Starbucks here, that is transported in kegs. If you have ever had a soda, such as a Coke or a Pepsi, the syrup to make those is actually transported in kegs. This is why we are positioning ourselves as the world's first and the industry-leading COPV keg solution that lowers distribution costs. We have an incredible team to make this happen, of some just amazing business talent and some impeccable engineering expertise. We are committed to lowering distribution costs for your favorite local brewery so that more people can enjoy their beer. And that is why we are asking for your vote tonight. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Daniel. Now it's to the judges for some questions. Bhavna, would you like to start this round of questions?
Sure. This takes me back to my college days. Kegs are heavy. I am pretty sure I couldn't lift those big ones. Anyway, so my questions are around the material. So this got me wondering, how readily available is COPV? And because we live in Boulder, Colorado, are there any environmental implications to the production of this material?
The production, no, not that we found so far. So we're using filament winding to do the COPV part of it. And there's actually a manufacturer down in Golden that does this already. And then we're using an epoxy resin. And right now we're working with composite recyclers such as Vartega, who are experts at recycling exactly what we're making. So we do know that it's recyclable in the end as well. And then steel, which is the inner liner, a very thin steel that we use, is obviously quite recyclable too.
I'm muted. Any more questions from you, Bhavna? Are we good to
No,
move
I took up too much time last time, so I'm gonna
Love it.
pass
Pass it to Eric.
someone else. I have more questions, but I'll wait.
Eric, go for it.
Great, thanks, thanks Ashley and Daniel. Once again, great presentation. It's fun to see these CU ventures progress so much. Couple of quick questions. Have you thought about how are you helping repurpose the kegs that your kegs are replacing? Similar to Bhavna's question around environmental impacts and such. What are you doing in helping with repurposing the old kegs you're replacing?
Yeah, of course. So right now we're starting with small craft breweries who are scaling. And so there is a big influx of them just demand for kegs. And traditionally kegs, if you get a steel keg, it's about a 20 to 30 year asset. So it takes a very long time to replace these. So these small craft breweries that are starting up are usually not getting rid of theirs. They're just trying to acquire. And then if we are replacing, it once again comes down to that steel principle of we can go in and help them recycle their steel kegs.
Great, thanks. And I guess I'm just curious, how many customers do you have right now and what are they liking and what are they hating?
So Flightco Brewing is our one customer right now. We've sold all of the prototype kegs that we had to them a few weeks ago. And then we're in talks with a few other breweries right now. And then if we win this competition, that will allow us to more easily scale into these next few breweries, hopefully here in Boulder and throughout Colorado.
Okay, great. Thanks, Daniel. I'll throw it over to back to Ashley and Peter.
Peter, take it away.
Thanks, Ashley. All right. Well, I'll just say this is an exciting product as far as I can tell, because we invested in Steelhead Composite, who makes those aerospace tanks you showed. And we also invested in Vartega, who does the carbon fiber recycling. So we know quite a bit about this. And certainly the durability, the strength, the lightness are all, compelling attributes. So my question for you is really about the unit economics of this. I saw $85 versus $95, so a $10 differential, and $250 per trip, meaning 4 trips, and you're at break even for your buyers. It seems almost too good, right? No brainer. And I'm wondering, how can you do that for really only a $10 differential? It seems like it would be, you could maybe get a bigger margin or charge a bigger price to get away with that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that price there is what we predict at scale and at a big bulk order. That's what that will be. But looking at smaller, it's probably going to be in the mid hundreds. And how we can get that down is essentially bringing all the manufacturing in-house one day. Steel itself, if you bring it in-house, it's not that expensive to manufacture these. The filament winding is a little bit more expensive, but still fibers are about, I believe it's about 50 cents per pound of fibers. And we only have less than half a pound of fibers on each keg. So that's very minimal there as well.
Oh, okay. And then this is probably obvious, but I assume that since these have a 20-year shelf life for the steel, you're making in the same format. So you could have a truck that's half composite and half steel, and people could transition as they need to.
Yes, that is incredibly important to hit in this industry, to make sure it fits on all the automation lines, it fits on all the trucks, and there is no infrastructure that they need to put in. And that's what our keg meets right now.
Yeah. And I saw we were out of time, but I just have one more question. If you had a full keg full of beer and it fell off of the truck 20 feet down, a steel keg would be dented, what would yours look like?
Our resin would probably be cracked off a little bit, but the great thing actually about fiberglass is you can repair it with the epoxy resin. Steel kegs, if they get dented like that, especially in critical things like the spout, it is an expensive repair. Our solution allows you to simply apply more epoxy, or, if the worst case happens, it breaks just like a steel keg as well.
Thank you.